Rain poured down on the city like a broken faucet. The streets of Manhattan glistened under the harsh glow of streetlights, and expensive cars whooshed by, their tires slicing through puddles. Inside one of those cars sat Victoria Hale, the CEO of Hale Technologies, one of the most powerful women in the country. To the world, she was steel and control, the woman who turned a failing company into a global empire. But tonight, her hands trembled. Because she knew they were coming. Her security team had just reported that two of her company's former executives, men she'd fired for embezzlement, had been released on bail. And now, her phone was full of missed calls from unknown numbers. Her gut told her this wasn't coincidence. She ordered the driver to pull over near a quiet diner. "I'll handle it from here," she said, grabbing her coat and stepping out into the rain. She thought blending into a crowd might buy her time, but there were no crowds here. Just a sleepy diner and a man inside wiping down tables as the "closed" sign hung crookedly on the door. She hesitated, then knocked. The man looked up. His eyes were tired, but kind. He walked over and unlocked the door. "Sorry, ma'am, we're closed for the night. I just need a place to sit. Please." He paused, studying her drenched clothes and shaking hands. Something about her didn't fit this late-night diner. She looked too polished, too important. But he nodded. "All right. Come in. You look like you need a break more than I need sleep." The encounter. Inside, warmth enveloped her. The smell of coffee and baked bread filled the air. She took a seat by the window, trying to calm her breath. The man poured her coffee without asking. "Rough night. You could say that." He smiled softly. "Happens to the best of us." "Name's Jack." "Victoria," she replied, then caught herself. "I mean Vicky." He raised an eyebrow but didn't question it. "Well, Vicky, you're lucky you caught me. My little girl just fell asleep in the back, so I'm stuck here cleaning until I can close up." She followed his gaze. A tiny girl, maybe 5 years old, was curled up in a booth, clutching a teddy bear. Victoria felt a pang in her chest. "She's beautiful," she murmured. "Yeah," Jack said proudly. "Keeps me alive, that one. Her mom passed away 2 years ago. Since then, it's just been me and her." Victoria swallowed hard. There was something about the way he said it, quiet strength, no self-pity, that moved her. But before she could respond, the bell above the door jingled. 2 men walked in. Both wore dark coats and the same cold expression. Victoria's blood ran cold. They scanned the room. Then one of them locked eyes with her. The whisper. Victoria's heart hammered. She leaned across the counter toward Jack. Her voice was barely a whisper. "They're here for me." Jack froze. "What?" "Please," she whispered, trembling. "Don't let them know who I am." He didn't ask questions. Years of hardship had given him instincts, and those instincts screamed that this woman was in real danger. He turned, plastering a casual smile on his face. "Hey fellas, kitchen's closed. But I can fix you some coffee if you're desperate." The taller man spoke. "We're looking for someone." Woman, mid-30s, long black coat. "Seen anyone like that?" Jack shook his head calmly. "Nah, just me and my kid." The men looked around, unconvinced. One stepped closer to Victoria's booth. She lowered her face, pretending to search her purse. Jack's voice cut through the tension. "You know, it's raining hard out there. If you're hunting someone, maybe she's long gone by now." The man sneered. "Maybe." He tossed a $10 bill on the counter. "We'll take that coffee after all." The plan. Jack served them, his mind racing. He couldn't call the police, the men would notice. But he needed to get Victoria out. He leaned down toward her and whispered, "Back door, 10 seconds after I drop this cup. Go right, then left. There's an alley." Her eyes widened. "Why are you helping me?" "Because I've been where you are, cornered and scared. And someone once helped me." He straightened up and carried the cups to the men. As he set them down, he, accidentally, spilled a little coffee on the table. The distraction was enough. Victoria slipped out the back. Moments later, one of the men noticed the swinging kitchen door. "She's running." They bolted after her. Jack grabbed his coat and keys, yelled for his daughter, "Lila, honey, wake up. We're leaving," and ran out the side door. The escape. Victoria stumbled through puddles, her heels slipping on the wet concrete. She turned into an alley only to find it a dead end. Panic rose in her throat. She turned around and froze. Jack's beat-up pickup truck screeched to a halt beside her. "Get in," he shouted. Without thinking, she jumped in. Little Lila sat beside her, half awake and clutching her bear. "Hold on," Jack said, slamming the gas. The truck roared down the street as the two men appeared behind them, shouting. Victoria's pulse raced. "They saw us. They won't catch us," Jack said, turning sharply into a side street only locals would know. "I used to drive these roads for deliveries. They're like a maze." After several tense minutes, the headlights behind them disappeared. Victoria finally exhaled. "Thank you," she whispered. "You didn't have to do that." Jack gave her a quick glance. "You're shaking. Whoever they are, this isn't over, is it?" "No," she said softly. "They stole millions from my company. I fired them, reported them. They swore they'd ruin me." His grip on the wheel tightened. "And now they're trying. The truth comes out." They drove for miles until Jack stopped near an abandoned gas station. He turned to her. "You need to tell me the truth. Who are you really?" Victoria hesitated. Then, slowly, she pulled out her ID. His eyes widened as he read the name. Victoria Hale, CEO, Hale Technologies. He turned pale. "Wait, the Hale Technologies. You're the one who built those AI hospitals. The one from the news." She nodded quietly. "I was trying to protect my company. But I didn't realize how dangerous they were until now." Jack leaned back, shaking his head. "You just walked into my diner like a normal person. Guess you don't get that often." Her lips curved into a faint smile. "Not since I was your daughter's age." He chuckled softly. "Well, Victoria Hale, tonight you're just Vicky. And we're gonna keep you safe." The chase resumes. The peace didn't last. Headlights flashed behind them again, the same black sedan. Jack cursed under his breath. "They must have tracked your phone." Victoria threw it out the window instantly. "Hold on tight," he yelled, flooring the gas. The truck rattled as they sped through the rain-soaked streets. A bullet shattered the back window. Lila screamed. Jack's heart pounded. He swerved, turning down an old bridge road. "Jack!" Victoria shouted, "They'll kill you too." He clenched his jaw. "Not while you're in my truck." As the sedan gained on them, Jack suddenly veered off the road, crashing through a metal gate into a forest trail. The uneven path jolted the truck, but it bought them precious seconds. Finally, the engine sputtered to a stop. They were deep in the woods, safe for now. In the dark, Jack wrapped his jacket around Lila as she slept in the backseat. Victoria stared out at the rain. "You risked your life for a stranger," she said quietly. He looked at her. "You're not a stranger anymore." Their eyes met. In that moment, something unspoken passed between them, trust, maybe even something deeper. Victoria bit her lip. "You said someone helped you once." "Who?" "My brother," Jack said softly. "He was a cop. Took a bullet for me when I was young and stupid. Didn't make it." Her eyes softened. "I'm sorry." He shrugged. "He used to say, do the right thing even when no one's watching. I try to live by that." Victoria smiled faintly. "You did more than the right thing. You saved me." The reveal. By morning, the storm had cleared. Birds sang faintly as sunlight filtered through the trees. Victoria's phone was gone, but her mind was made up. She turned to Jack. "You deserve better than a rundown diner." He chuckled. "I'm not sure that's how I define success." But she wasn't joking. Days later, the news exploded with headlines. Hale Technologies CEO survives kidnapping attempt, hero single dad saves her life. The men were arrested thanks to surveillance cameras near the diner. But the world couldn't stop talking about the mystery man who risked everything. Victoria didn't reveal his name until she visited him again. She walked into the diner wearing jeans and a smile instead of a business suit. Jack looked up, surprised. "You again. Thought you might want to know," she said, sliding an envelope across the counter. He frowned and opened it. Inside was a contract and offer to head Hale Technologies' new community outreach program with a six-figure salary. He blinked. "Victoria, I can't." "Yes, you can," she interrupted gently. "You helped me when I had nothing to offer. Now let me return the favor." The twist. He looked at her for a long moment, then smiled. "You really don't give up, do you?" "Never," she said, grinning. Lila ran up from the back, hugging Victoria's legs. "Miss Vicky, Daddy said you're a princess." Victoria laughed. "A princess who owes your daddy her life." Jack rubbed the back of his neck, blushing. She's not wrong. Then Victoria leaned closer, her tone softer. You know, when I first walked into your diner, I thought my life was falling apart. Turns out, it was just beginning. Jack met her eyes, and for the first time, she saw not just a humble single dad, but the quiet courage of a man who had nothing yet gave everything. Epilogue. Months later, the diner was renovated, gleaming with new life. On its sign, painted in gold letters, were the words, Hale and Heart Café, a partnership of hope. Jack ran the community program by day and the cafe by night. Victoria visited often, sometimes for business, sometimes just to see him. And every evening, when the lights dimmed and Lila fell asleep in the corner booth, Jack and Victoria would share coffee and quiet smiles, two people who found each other in a storm and built something unshakable in its aftermath.